if I'm going to do a PhD, I knew it's 4-year commitment here.
Yeah.
It's a long time. It's like I'm starting uni all over again. For the doubts that I had, I just put it down on paper and I said, okay, God, here are my fears, right? I don't want to be finishing when I'm very late. I'm scared about like marriage, what that looks like, scared about like earning. And I had to, I guess, face those doubts with the truth, right? So yes, here are the doubts, but what's actually the truth based on scriptures. I think that's what helps me navigate the decision to actually go forward to do it. I mean, wait, mommy, if you're watching this, just remember I did my PhD.
Oh my God.
That's what that is.
Hi guys, welcome to Becoming with Angela Chris, a podcast where you learn, unlearn and relearn what it really means to become. And with me is a beautiful lady, smart, intelligent, outstanding, brilliant, a cancer researcher and a PhD student. Meet the lovely lady Sewa Adebisi.
Thank you.
Welcome to this podcast, and it's a privilege to have you as my guest.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for accepting our invite. It's an honor to be here with a PhD student, soon to be doctor.
I'm just a
Nice, amazing. And so, yeah, for you to become, you have to begin. So Adeshewa, let's take it back to the beginning of your career. So what sparked your interest in cancer research?
That's a very, very good question.
Yeah.
I think I have to go like way back to like high school.
Okay.
Of course, to be into cancer research, you have to be into sciences. I was not good at sciences. I was good at English actually.
Really?
But exactly.
Surprising.
I was good at English. I really enjoyed English. I would get A's, A stars in English. In science, I get B's and C's. But I'm that kind of person that if I'm not doing well in it, I need to do better in it. So I left English in high school. No, I left English in college and then I ended up doing sciences at college instead. And then did sciences, biology, chemistry, maths and psychology. My first year I failed.
Really? Oh my God.
My first year result was DAD.
Oh my
so it spelled
God,
dead.
yeah.
I did not tell my parents. Till today they don't even know.
Are you
I don't tell
serious?
my
Oh my
parents.
God, they will know now.
I mean, wait, mommy, if you're watching this, just remember I did my PhD.
Oh my God.
That's what that is. So
You scam.
I'm not scam. I just selectively chose what information to share.
Yeah, I get that.
And then I got to uni. Interestingly, I went through clearing. So I didn't have the grades to actually do what I wanted to do. So I ended up doing undergrad in biochemistry, which I ended up really liking. I enjoyed just science, enjoyed research. I'm quite curious, I think. People say I'm quite curious. I like to ask questions. Why? Why? What's going on? Why?
Okay.
And then ended up doing a master's in oncology and then my PhD now.
Amazing, lovely. So what actually made you decide to do a PhD? Because a lot of us, I know a lot of us, don't, it's not coming to our, our thought process to want to do PhD even after having a master's. That's not, everyone wants to go into the markets, into the field to make money and all of that. So what really, gave you that drive, that inspiration to, start the PhD? Is it your love for the cancer research or what really inspired you?
That's good. I think people are gonna say I'm so weird when I say this. There's two reasons. So the first of it was the science side, where I like to think of cancer as being alive, and it's very interesting. So the moment you try and kill it, it comes back. Someone is even asking me, why do we not have a cure for cancer? And I'm like, which cancer are you talking about? There's like so many times. Which one are you talking about? And it's quite hard to actually cure, but that's another conversation. So I think I just found it very interesting as something that a lot of people are starting to face. And I had a lecturer at uni that, when you meet lecturers that are like, I don't know, like so passionate that they can describe it like it's the cancer that's playing for them. So that really sparked my intrigue, and I just found it so interesting. And I had so that's the science side, and at the same time, I had a family member that was diagnosed with cancer. So really seeing that and taking care of them and seeing how cancer was for them was a very difficult period. It was a very difficult time, and I think I had a personal side and also the scientific side. And I mean, I'm a Christian.
Yeah,
I'm a
I
Christian.
get you.
So I say that God really turned I say pain into purpose.
Mm.
So God really helped me sort of shape what was meant to be quite painful.
Painful
And he
to
just directed
direct.
me through
Yeah.
it. So yeah, it was a mixture of scientific but also personal
Yeah.
that brought me there.
Amazing, lovely. That's amazing. And in this your journey, have you experienced any form of doubts? Because a lot of times, what really separates us from becoming and actually, being the person we want to be is self doubt, is fear of the unknown, what's going to be in our future, how we're going to scale through this process. So, what has actually, overcome that challenges, that fear in your heart, that doubt, that are you going to be able to scale through to the end of your PhD? Are you going to come to the solution for your cancer research? What has actually, helped you in the doubt process? Talk us
I
through.
think 100% everyone faces doubt.
Yeah.
If you don't face doubt, please can you tell us what you're doing? Because I think everyone faces doubt.
Yeah.
I think for me, even before starting my PhD, I was just questioning, should I not do this? Like if I'm going to do a PhD, I knew it's 4 year commitment here.
Yeah.
It's a long time. It's like I'm starting uni all over again. And my friends are finishing, my friends are working, and I'm just starting from scratch. So what I actually did, it's gonna sound so spiritual. I went on a retreat. Went on a retreat. I said, okay, God, I'm having to make a decision about something for the next 4 years. I have no idea what the next 4 years is going to look like. So I just needed some sort of stillness just so I can just hear a bit more clearly. I put on paper. I'm a journal kind of babe. I like to write things down.
Nice.
I have journals stacks and
Okay.
stacks. I like to write things down. That's me. I like to write things down. And I can still see this because I remember looking at the paper the other day where I put the PhD. So the reasons I didn't want to do a PhD, things like age. I'm going to be 32 when I finish my PhD. That's too old. I said that's too old. I have to do a PhD. I put oh my god, this is so embarrassing. I put like marriage, like who's going to marry me?
It's part of the,
I was like marriage.
that
Oh, I don't
part
want to
of
do
it,
that.
like, you need to think about some certain things because you're a lady and, I mean, everyone keeps saying time and
But
this
clock,
and you got the clock, but you need to do what you need to do.
Exactly.
What's in your heart, what God has directed you to do, you need to do it, and become who you need to be.
And I think in that way, as I said, I was putting things down. So the doubts that I had, I just put it down on paper and I said, okay, God, here are my fears, right? I don't want to be finishing when I'm very late. I'm scared about like marriage, what that looks like, scared about like earning as well. I'm sort of the person that struggles a bit with um like I do things for other people. I do things for accolades at times. So that balance of like I don't want to be doing a PhD because everyone's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll go do a PhD. And I had to, I guess, face those doubts with the truth, right? So yes, here are the doubts, but what's actually the truth faced in scriptures? I think that's what helps me navigate the decision to actually go forward to do it.
Okay, amazing, brilliant. That's really valid,
Yeah.
having to trust God in the process, and even before you step into whatever you've been called to do, you need direction. You need to, seek. Because even the Bible said, seek and it shall be given. And you ask for direction and God is going to direct your path. So yeah, that's really valid. So what challenge did you face in your, in your early stage of the research and, yeah,
So my early stage of my
the
research.
research, yeah.
But I think the thing about research is that you're going into a field where you're trying to create new knowledge. So if you're creating new knowledge, that means nothing works. You're exploring things, you're trying new experiments, you're spending longer times in the labs, but it's not actually making sense, so nothing works. I think the biggest challenge at the start was, whereas compared to a master's or undergrad, you have someone that would say, just follow this protocol, you get this result, and that's it. There's no extra easy thing about it, think yourself. So I think the biggest challenge was just that it's my research. If I don't come in, it's my PhD. If I don't do this, it's my PhD.
Who and what played a role in motivating you and keeping you driven? In life sometimes it's our motivations that keep us going. Like what really drives you to, to do the things that you do. So yeah, so what really motivated you to keep pushing and keep, even when you face those downtimes, what
Mm.
keeps you going. So yeah,
Yeah.
can you talk to us about?
I think having the end in mind, which now seems like I'm just running away from my PhD.
Yeah.
But I think what keeps me motivated is knowing or remembering the reasons why I got into it in the first place.
Okay.
So yes, I had my personal and my science interest, but also it's the career interest. So before I started my PhD, I worked for a year and I was like, I can see where the ceiling was for that, and that's not what I wanted to stay at. So I knew that I wanted more than that. So I think one of the motivations is, okay, I know that this is going to last I'll finish. Last I'll graduate. Last I'll become a doctor, right? I'll have my PhD with me. And I know what doors that those opportunities would open. I know how there's different careers, different fields I can get into off the back of that. So I think when I think about what keeps me motivated, it's that. And also like I like to see things finish. Like I like to see things to its completion. I was like,
Yeah, that's very.
can do so.
So a lot of times people just do stuff and then they jump into another activity and not stay consistent. So building momentum, building consistency, tenacity, that it keeps you going. Yeah, and that's very important. That's really a good character to have. So how did you leverage on mentorship? For me, I think mentorship is a very important role. It's has been really emphasized, to be honest, because mentorship is that very, it's quite, people say it's quite a minute part. Not everyone is fortunate to have a mentor, to direct them, but having someone who has actually gone through that process that you're going through is very paramount. Someone to pour into you, to tell you how the journey is, how to go about certain things when you're facing difficulty. That's person, is just walking you through what they've been through. And even though when they've made mistakes, they'll just tell you the mistakes they've made and how you can do better. So having to leverage on mentorship is very good. So I don't know, can you talk us through how you've leveraged on mentorship in your research program, and how you also been mentoring people? Because when you pour into you also pour out to others, and that's very important to to give. But you can only give when you've received. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I take a very shameless approach to mentoring. As in me, I can message anyone and ask,
Oh,
hi,
yeah.
hello, hi, can you help me, please? And it's so funny because that's kind of how I would say that's what helped me actually get into my PhD.
Oh,
Because
then
I saw it someone else, she's doing a PhD in Cambridge at
oh
in cancer research, and I was like, oh wait, how did she get there?
yeah.
Like, what did she do? How did you like how? And I had no idea at that time. I didn't know anyone around me that's doing a PhD, or my friends that have done science are diverted into other fields. So there really wasn't a lot of people to talk to in that sense. And I just sent a message on Twitter or X. Twitter. I feel so old now. On X, as the Gen Zs will say. To say, hey, like I see you're here. How did you do it? What was your experience like? So I think I definitely benefited from indirect mentoring. And I think a lot of people have a wrong approach to mentoring in the sense that we see mentors as just one single person. So, like I just want one person to mentor with. Not realizing that you're gonna be in different season in your life
and phases.
exactly. So the mentor that I had before, I don't need them now because I've moved past that. So if you only want that one person, I think you're just doing yourself a disservice, to be honest. So I think my approach to mentoring has been very much more one of, oh, I see this trait in you. Can I learn from you? And also we have tend to have like a transactional idea of mentoring, which I don't think is the best, where okay, you just come and pour into me and that's it, right?
Reciprocal.
Literally it's reciprocal, and it's meant to be more of a relationship than oh, let me just meet my mentor. So I think I've changed my idea in that sense, and try to do a mentorship as doing the life of the person. So hey,
having
build
building
a
relationship
with them.
Yeah. So the STEM fields can be very competitive and challenging. And so what advice would you give a young woman or who's um anyone who's looking to build their career in the space, in this science space? What advice would you give anyone who's trying to build their career, or even trying to having the thought process of starting the PhD? Not I know a lot of people are not considering that because they are looking for money. But in case there are still some couple of people who is thinking about starting their PhD and wanting to go into maybe the tech field or the science field and all of that. So what advice can you give anyone who's thinking of starting? Because a lot of times we want to start something, but we just need like a little push or a little encouragement, to actually do what we want to do, what's in our hearts. We just need the word of wisdom or somebody to just say, do this, you can't do this. You get what I mean? So what encouragement can you give someone here?
Yeah, I think the encouragement I would give, if you want to be in a STEM field, is I know it's hard, I know it's difficult. If you can get any sort of experience, just so at least you know a little bit of what you're getting into beforehand. So I know, for example, some people might, if you have a degree course, they might say, oh, it's a 3 year or 1 year industry experience. If you're able to get any sort of experience, then at least you know, okay, do I enjoy this or do I not enjoy this? I think again, for example, not everyone's going to do a PhD, but you wouldn't know until you've worked somewhere else. So I was working in um just a normal job after PhD. I was working in a lab, right? And then I realized, I don't like the limitations that the lab gave to me. I want a chance to explore into why I went to do a PhD. So I think I would say that. So be open to gaining new experiences, but also be open to pivoting. You might not stay in what you're doing. I learned this from one of my close friends, Hiker. She did the same course as me, biochem, um, biomed rather. And now she quit a job during COVID. She quit. She didn't want to do that. She didn't want to go down the route. Then she transitioned into tech, and that was a gamble because it could have just not worked.
Yeah.
But when I tell you, that's when I knew that tech can pay you money.
Oh
So
my
my
God.
experience is when I knew that you
Yeah.
can have a better, a more healthier balance
Balance, yeah.
to life instead, and it's not just one that is not suited to what your strengths are. So I think what I would say, and that's probably my final point, look at your strengths and see, what am I actually good at? What am I naturally good at? I know this sounds very cliche, like, but this is what actually matters. What do I actually enjoy?
Yeah,
And not just what I think everyone wants me to do.
yeah, that's very important because sometimes when you've been forced to do something, you go there and you're very reluctant, you're tired, you don't really enjoy the process, and that's not how it should be. It should be something that comes from within, something you really enjoy and you see yourself doing it for a longer period of time.
And I think on that point as well, I think sometimes we think that we have to, as much as like, you don't always have to enjoy what you do.
Yeah, actually.
There's a difference between like, okay, I want to do this career because I know like this is going to help me financially, and yes, okay, I can do well about this, because sometimes we feel like we have to follow our passions a lot. I don't know, it sounds a bit weird, especially someone working in cancer research.
For the instance, sometimes you need to do what you need to do so that you can do what you're passionate about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just for the funds, you get what I mean? Sometimes we do our jobs or the jobs we're in just to get the funds so we can pursue our passion, because that's what is always going to be in your heart if you really love something and you have that burning desire to go for it. Though you're working maybe in a doing your support or doing whatever, you can be doing that just to get some momentum or get money to develop your dream. But you don't have to remain there. You don't have to stay there. You can elevate and move forward and do whatever you want to do. So I'm on the opinion that you can do whatever you want to do, and whatever your dreams are, you can pursue them. You can do what you're passionate about. But at the moment, if you don't have the finances, if you don't have the right environment to skyrocket you to push you to that destination, you can do whatever you're doing, but still have that in the back of your mind that you're going to do your dream and you're going to live your life to the fullest to enjoy your process and your dream. So
I agree. And I think just don't be afraid to pivot. Like it's okay. You might have to not have a job. I mean, I don't know how you can start it, but you might have to take a step back, do some training courses to make sure that you're actually better for it instead.
Amazing. So we're talking about, let's cool it down a bit. So how do you go with the work-life balance?
Mm.
So I know, you're all researching, reading, and all of that, bookie, bookie. So how do you, enjoy yourself outside the research? Because that's number one thing that is going to, that's even taught, that will turn me off from PhD, because I'm like, I can't just go back and read research. I won't enjoy my life, all of that. I'm like, no, no for me. I want to have time for myself, have time for other fun activities. So how do you tone down on your research and your PhD? How do you enjoy yourself? How do you have fun? How do you create a balance with family? Yeah, can you give
Yeah.
us a light
It's so
on
funny.
that?
Like,
Mhm.
you know when you're saying that, you know that minister
Enjoyment.
That's a
Okay.
literally, I was like,
Yeah.
that's me because me, I like to enjoy life.
Yeah,
I like to enjoy life
see.
well. Well, please.
Yes,
Let me.
sir.
I like to enjoy life well.
Yeah.
But I think what I would say is there's actually no such. Okay, this might be controversial. I don't think there's a such thing as a work-life balance because
Mhm.
different times will call for different things,
Yeah.
right? Different times will call for different priorities. I think it's just understanding what is the priority right now
Now.
and what is the priority later on. So right now, I can't be doing enjoyment because I have about 3 months left of third year. So I know that
Yeah.
I need to put my head down a
Work,
bit more.
yeah.
Then there's gonna be a time in October time where things are a bit more calm. When I can pick up more things, I can enjoy, I can go travel a bit more. So it's less about balance, but knowing okay, what is priority right now? And then I know that by focusing on that, by saying yes to this means I can say yes to something else later on.
Yeah.
So by putting my head down to work means I can relax and enjoy later
Yeah.
on.
And
Or
then,
by enjoying later on means I know I have to work later on. So I think having that mindset instead of chasing a work-life balance, because you see when you get into the working field, when you get into like I guess higher level in academia, it's impossible to do so because life doesn't work like that. Life is not a balance. It's more about seasons and priorities.
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right, totally right. Because a lot of times we need to, there's a word in my head. I'm still trying to throw me down. But you need to deprive yourself for some time of enjoyment to be able to reap the future enjoyment. There's a word that
Discipline.
it's discipline, but there's a word like, oh my god, why am I forgetting? Yeah. So yeah, remember out there. Yeah. So you need to deprive yourself now so that you can enjoy later. So depends on. There's no way anyone will be successful without hard work. So you need to really work hard, and there would be time for enjoyment. But if you know where you are, like you said, priorities is very important. So knowing the priorities you have now, that determines the level at which you go harder and how you also tone down on your enjoyment. Yeah. So yeah, that's amazing. That's brilliant. So what advice would you give any young person who wants to start um a project? It might not be cancer research, like a project, or start a business, or start a PhD. So what advice can you give or pour into anyone that's struggling, that is having this doubts and fear, and that don't know where to go, direction to to focus on? So what can you
Yeah. I think the one thing that's worked for me that allows me to have the balance, that allows me to keep going, and everything else is community. I brag about to my family and friends.
Okay.
I have a very, 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 very strong community, as in
Amazing.
that they help, they encourage me, they support me, they are there to advise me, they're there to also even be there with me in the process. So I think the best thing I would say is find a community, either in church, in mutual hobbies or friends, family, whatever that looks like. Because when it's tough and difficult, you're not gonna remember, oh yeah, I wanted to cure cancer. You're gonna be like, I want to live this right now. You need people around you that will be able to like, no, here's what you said. Here's how to encourage you. Here's what we can actually say to support you more than anything else.
Amazing. Yeah, I believe so much in environment and community. I believe that your environment affects who you become, and that translates to how you express yourself, how you take action. Because a lot of times most people, they don't have the right people that encourage them to boost their morale, to give them that energy and that drive to do what they really want, so they relent. And that's not good. That's why you need community, you need people to support you, to make you do the things that you really want to do. Yeah, because your environment and your people that surround you shape who you are. They have a major impact on how you become in life. So yeah, I'm very keen on that. So last question. So how, as I know you're a strong Christian, and I also believe in God, and I believe in the power of the Holy Ghost and how it directs our steps and order our purpose and in his will. So how has being a Christian, and not just being a Christian, but knowing God for yourself, has it directed you in who you are becoming right now and who you become in the future? What scriptures has stood out to you, that's kept you going? Can you just give us
Yeah,
like
that's a really I love that question.
yeah.
So how has my faith guided me, and also
Yeah.
what scriptures has helped support me? I think my faith has been the grounding for where I am right now. I think in terms of guiding, I think because I know the Lord, um, He makes me wise. So because I know the Lord, He makes me wise, and then I make wise decisions.
Yeah.
So in terms of making decisions, okay, where should I go? Is this your will? Is this and stuff? Because I know the Lord, it allows me to make wise decisions. And then I make decisions with the understanding that I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Like I'll be fine. So if this doesn't work, okay, cool,
Okay,
fine,
yeah.
I'll be fine. If this works, okay, cool, I'll be fine. There's a scripture that says that all things work together to those who love the Lord and call to His purposes. And what is my purpose? It's to glorify God and enjoy Him, right? So as long as I'm walking in that, that means that I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's so like I don't hold anything so tightly, like because no matter what happens, I know I'll be fine. And also that things will all be okay. I think I can hold on to that promise that I'll be okay.
Yeah.
That God's not going to leave me. He's not going to forsake me.
Yeah.
So regardless of what direction I go to, yes, there might be consequences. Yes, it might be difficult. And it's not to say it's not going to be rosy because life is hard.
Yeah,
Life
life is hard.
it's very hard.
Yes.
There's some tears, there's some pain, but I think I can
But
rest in the fact
yeah.
that I'm not going through this alone.
Alone,
That my
yeah.
Father sees me through. And yeah, that gives me comfort. That gives me comfort to
Amazing,
strive.
lovely. Because whoever is in God has peace, and that's what God has promised us, that you should be still and know that I am God.
Yeah.
And that's very important because God has given us the assurance that it's going to be with us in the journey of life, not just in the present but in the future. And that's why it's important. That's what we should look up to, not because a lot of times people look at the present, see the difficult times, but they stay, and that's why people who don't believe in God, they find it hard to skate through the try time. But we who are believers, we know that staying with God is there's hope for future, and there's also hope for the afterlife because that's what God promised us. So yeah, that's very important. Thank you so much, Adeshi. Thank you so much, Adesewa. Thank you for coming to pour into us. It's been a pleasure having you today, and looking forward to having you more in our podcast. And God bless you for your encouragement and for the whole message, the whole encouragement. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you guys for
Thank you very
listening.
much.
I've been so blessed and hope you've been blessed in this session. Thank you. Bye. See you in the next episode.
Bye.